Tonight on Newswatch, the city of Nelsonville is calling for an investigation into missing emails. Plus, a severe heat wave across the U.S. could affect your wallet. And the Athens Police Department is under new command. We speak with the new chief live in studio. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Connor Woodruff. Welcome to Newswatch. The city of Nelsonville is asking state officials to investigate missing emails about the city's electric contract. The city's administrative assistant, Rita Wynn, emailed the council on July 7th saying emails were missing off of her computer. City officials need the records in order to determine how to pay for the termination fees related to the city's electric contract. According to council members, the Bureau of Criminal Investigation and the State Auditor's Investigative Services have been contacted to investigate. WOUB contacted the BCI and State Auditor's Office, but has not yet received a response. The Pleasance Power Station has a new owner and could find a new lease on life producing hydrogen. A purchasing agreement between Pleasance Power's owners signed with California-based Omnis Fuel Technologies. Omnis plans to use the plant to produce hydrogen from natural gas and other hydrocarbons. Omnis still needs to secure key approvals in order to begin producing hydrogen at the plant. Pleasance Power Plant generates about $400 million for the Mid-Ohio Valley. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine announces a new online program to help middle schoolers' math skills. Zern, a digital math library containing over 1,000 lessons, will be available to Ohio students grades 6 through 8 for free through June 30th, 2025. The investment aims to recover students' learning lost during the COVID-19 pandemic. Zern is designed for flexible use during school hours as well as tutoring outside of school. Multiple studies have shown that students who use Zern for math score 2.5 times higher than those who do not. The program is supported through the elementary and secondary school emergency relief funding. A new 2-year state budget in Ohio is giving $1.4 billion to nursing homes. The money is meant to encourage nursing homes to increase their care quality. The added funds also come with additional penalties. If a facility fails to provide quality care, some of the money from measures outlined by Medicaid and Medicare and the nursing home industry donated $1.4 million in the last Ohio election cycle. But the Ohio Healthcare Association executive Pete Van Runkel says the funding comes from an increased need and not financial connections. Nearly 36 local drug task forces are receiving state support for their operations. Governor DeWine is giving over $2.4 million to help agencies identify high-level drug traffickers, dismantle large drug trafficking organizations, and prevent the sale of illegal narcotics to those suffering from drug addiction. The grant will also be used to support the mission of the Recovery Ohio initiative, which aims to increase substance use and mental health awareness. The grants are from the Recovery Ohio Law Enforcement Fund. Drug-free Muskingum County and the Zanesville-Muskingum County Health Department are teaming up for the 3rd annual Overdose Awareness Day. The theme for this year, Planting Awareness. At the event, families will plant a succulent that they can decorate in honor of a loved one. Drug Awareness Day will be held on the 31st of August. Co-founder of Drug-Free Muskingum County, Monica Badiger, says the organization also plans on hosting events between the 28th of August through the 1st of September. Some of them include Wear Purple Day and Change Your Social Media Frame Day.
Good evening, happy Wednesday. Right now outside it's about 84, pretty muggy out as well, and some cloudy skies. Now yesterday we had a pretty active weather day. We saw severe thunderstorm warnings all across southern Ohio as well as Kentucky and West Virginia, and a lot of that was due to this cold front and stationary front that just moved right into Ohio. So we had a lot of warm air going on in southern Ohio, and in the morning we had some daytime heating with that sunshine going on, but in the evening time we had that frontal system move right on through, allowing a lot of convection to occur. But fortunately for us, today slowed down a little bit, but we're looking at more rain on the forecast, and I'll talk about that here in just a bit. But with all that cloud coverage yesterday and that cold front, temperatures dropped overnight into the 60s, and they stayed in the 60s throughout most of the day, most of the morning, but they quickly picked back up into the 80s throughout most of the day today. Now right now we're looking at the stationary front still hanging around southern Ohio, and we have a little bit of cloud coverage starting to pop in a little bit. So that cloud coverage is coming in from a lot of the storm system that's sitting over our southern states, and that's popping into Ohio, plus the stationary front. There's not a lot of strong wind movement going on right now, so that's helping to keep a lot of those clouds there. What's going on as well out to the northwest, we're looking at this low pressure system that has an occluded front as well as a warm front and a cold front associated with it, and right now we're seeing tornado warnings and other strong storm systems associated with that. But that low pressure system is going to be moving in over the Great Lakes, and we're going to be seeing the effects of that warm and cold front tomorrow for another possible severe weather day. Tonight, however, it's going to be mostly cloudy skies, partly cloudy skies with an overnight low of about 66. It'll still be pretty muggy out, so expect another muggy night tonight going on into tomorrow morning. Be sure to stay tuned for my full forecast. So we're going to look at what we can expect later this week. Back to you, Connor.
Thanks, Emily. If you're sick of pesky robocalls, an end could be in sight. The Federal Trade Commission and Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost are collaborating on an initiative that cracks down on scam calls. It builds on ongoing efforts to combat invasive robocalls and unlawful telemarketing. The initiative targets telemarketers and generators that deceptively collect phone numbers. Operation Stop Scam Calls also focuses on voice-over internet protocol service providers that facilitate tens of billions of illegal robocalls annually, many of which originate overseas. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost claims states have the right to access medical records for women who get abortions in other states. In a letter to the Biden administration, Yost and 18 other attorneys general respond to a proposed rule that would provide additional protection to patients whose information might be used to investigate or sue people who get abortions. Pro-Choice Ohio's Jamie Miracle says Yost's actions show why the rule is needed. She says, quote, "We deserve an attorney general who protects our privacy and protects our access to health care," end quote. Currently, abortion is legal in Ohio up to 22 weeks. The minimum numbers of poll workers needed for the August 8th special election in Ohio has been reached. Over 28,000 Ohioans have signed up to work the special election, around 500 more than needed. A few Southeast Ohio counties are at full poll worker recruitment, including Hocking, Logan, and Vinton. However, not every county is at full recruitment, including Athens County. The goal for poll workers statewide this election, set by Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose, is over 31,000. If you're interested in serving as a poll worker, you can sign up at voteohio.gov/defenddemocracy. Coming up after the break, communities in southwestern Kentucky are picking up the pieces. Plus, summer break is coming to a close. How you can help kids transition back to the classroom.
We are anticipating another rainy day tomorrow. Be sure to stay tuned to Newswatch to find out how this rain can impact you.
500 million miles from the sun.
Jupiter is very violent and it's very intimidating.
The giant of the planets. Transforming the destiny of the solar system.
The most powerful gravitational object second to the sun.
The planets. Jupiter on Nova.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
This is all miraculous to me.
On Finding Your Roots, Queen Latifah.
We are a very unique family.
And actor Jeffrey Wright.
There are shadows over a lot of the history in my family.
Unexpected stories.
So you have a recent white ancestor.
I didn't know what we were.
From a complicated world.
Can you imagine having neighbors who used to own you?
I feel these people.
This is mind-blowing.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
Here's what's new this month with Passport.
Will, this changes everything.
No, that's every blues singer in the country was doing that.
In the 1960s, hip-hop became our voice.
Draw your arrow to the head!
These and all your favorite shows are available with Passport. Support your PBS station and stream more with Passport on the PBS app.
The Amazon. Humans have never set eyes on parts of this jungle until now. A team of naturalists and filmmakers are going to wire this wilderness, top to bottom. Remotely operated cameras will record everything 24/7. It's a wildlife filmmaking first.
That is remarkable.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Floods have triggered an emergency in Kentucky. As 70 million people across the nation swelter under heat alerts and temperatures hit triple digits with no relief in sight. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
A trail of destruction left behind by a tornado tearing through North Carolina Wednesday afternoon.
Well, that's my sister's home behind you. That's totally destroyed. My aunt's home right here. That's pretty much gone as well.
Fast rising waters seeping into homes and cars.
That's my truck.
Turning roads into rivers in eastern Kentucky. Catastrophic floods triggering an emergency in Mayfield, where an EF4 tornado killed dozens of people in 2021.
Moments ago, I declared a state of emergency due to the impacts from severe weather.
In Pennsylvania, unfavorable conditions have suspended the days-long search for a 2-year-old and 9-month-old who have been missing since Saturday after flash floods submerged the car they were in, killing their mother.
We ask that everybody stay away from the flood zone.
Meanwhile, life-threatening heat continues to shatter records in parts of the country.
Took care of a lady that was burnt on the asphalt. I mean, if it's 120 out here, the asphalt's 175 easy.
Phoenix has seen sizzling temperatures over 110 degrees for 20 straight days now.
It's like being in the kitchen on Thanksgiving with all the ovens and the stoves going.
It's hit 100 degrees and higher for 34 consecutive days in El Paso, Texas. And in Florida, where the heat index has topped 100 for nearly 40 days, Miami-Dade commissioners gave initial approval to a measure that would mandate shade and water for outdoor workers when the heat index tops 90 degrees. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Here with more is Newswatch forecaster Emily Dietz. Emily?
Good evening. Today has been a pretty muggy day out right now. We're seeing mostly cloudy skies and it's about 84. Not too much of a heat index since we didn't really see a lot of sunshine going on. We still have the stationary front that's sort of been sitting over the Ohio Valley, and that's helping to keep a lot of the cloud coverage going on since there's not a lot of wind movement in the upper atmosphere right now, but we're anticipating a change going forward these next couple of hours into tomorrow, but we'll touch on that here in just a little bit. Across the country, we're still seeing a lot of severe weather. We've got some thunderstorms going on down in Florida. Our low pressure system that produced some severe weather for us yesterday is now off the coast along the east coast, right along Virginia and North Carolina, producing some severe thunderstorm warnings. And right now there's also a large low pressure system over the upper Midwest with a warm front and cold front associated with that is producing severe thunderstorm warnings as well as tornado warnings. And we're actually going to see this low pressure system start to move in towards the Great Lakes area, and we're going to see the impact of that warm and cold front here tomorrow, potentially producing some more severe weather. Today, however, we had a high of about 83, not too much of a heat index again since we didn't have a lot of sunshine. Our UV index was fairly low for today compared to what we've seen earlier this summer. We have a 20% chance for isolated thunderstorms. Those are just going to be very brief pop-up thunderstorms, nothing too severe. But across the country, once again, we have extreme heat. So if you're planning on vacationing anywhere in the south or along the coastal areas, be prepared for those 90s, even up to 100-degree temperatures. Things are heating up, and to help out with that, we have those warm Gulf waters that are swirling up, helping to feed a lot of moisture into these southern states, and that's what's helping to produce those pop-up thunderstorms that you typically see in the afternoon times. But for us here in Ohio, we're going to stay in those mid-80 ranges with a potential heat index into the 90s if we see some more sunny, humid days. But tonight we'll see partly cloudy skies, an overnight low of 66. So it'll be another muggy night tonight. And tomorrow we're looking at an 86-degree high, so temperature-wise pretty similar to today with an 80% chance of showers. So it's going to be a pretty muggy morning, but as those thunderstorms and as that frontal system starts to make its way in towards Ohio, it'll get a little bit dry as that storm system starts to take in all the moisture that we're seeing in the air to really feed and give it a lot of energy. And tomorrow we'll be under slight risk for severe weather pretty much across the entire state of Ohio. And that's going to be because we have this low pressure system that was previously over the upper Midwest that is now moved into the Great Lakes region. And we have this warm front that's pushing in a lot of this warm moist air in from the south, and right behind it we have a cold front, and that air is moving in sort of from the northwest area, and that's going to help with a lot of airflow, a lot of pushing that air movement in to help fuel a lot of these storms. And when that cold air bumps up against this warm moist air, it causes its warm moist air to rapidly rise because you have this cold air that's a lot denser and a lot faster moving than this warm air, which is moving a lot slower. So starting around the afternoon times for us down here in southeast Ohio, we should be seeing some convection start to happen and some thunderstorms start to happen, and tomorrow night we'll continue to see that even into Friday morning a little bit. Still expect some rain, but by the afternoon time things will start to clear up, and we're anticipating a nice weekend. We're looking at mostly sunny skies in the mid 80s, so be sure if you're going to spend some time outside to check on that UV index and wear your sunscreen. But for tomorrow it's going to look like a pretty strong weather day, so be prepared for that. Back to you, Connor.
Thanks, Emily. The crippling heat wave across the U.S. could have an effect on your health and your wallet. Gloria Pazmino tells us more.
There are going to be massive impacts that will only eventually show up in employment, GDP, public health statistics.
As more Americans crank up the AC, it is projected that home energy costs are going to increase this summer. One analyst expects costs to jump nearly 12%. In some areas, low-income families who don't have this option could face potentially fatal temperatures. For workers in weather-exposed industries, federal safety rules do require employers to provide workplaces free of known safety and health hazards, including the heat. Target has changed its dress code to allow most employees to wear shorts and says other policies for those working in extreme heat include water and rest breaks.
There's sort of high-tech or low-tech ways of adjusting.
Climate economist Gernot Wagner says when the temperatures get this high, the bottom line is always going to be impacted.
Productivity through the economy goes down, especially when we hit certain thresholds.
But the primary concern remains on the health and safety of workers.
At the end of the day, extreme temperatures literally kill. That, of course, is the ultimate impact.
Dozens of deaths this year are being investigated as potentially heat-related in Maricopa County, Arizona, where a new record was just set for the most days at or above 110 degrees. I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
Heading back to the school can be stressful for everyone, but for parents who are sending a child to school for the first time, it can be a huge transition. While you can't prepare your children for everything, health experts say you can set them up for a successful school year by preparing now. Mandy Gaither has 4 things you can do to help a first-time student.
A new school year with new faces, a new classroom. It can be scary for any student, but especially those who are new to school.
They don't really have an idea in their mind of what this is going to look like. They don't have something to go off of.
Strong for Life licensed therapist Jody Baumstein says preparing children before school starts is critical in easing them into the classroom.
The more we can fill in the blanks in their head, the more at ease they will feel.
Baumstein says to visit the school so the child knows what it looks like. Meet the teacher and administrator so there are familiar faces on day one. Set up play dates before school starts with other families who have first-time students.
They can rely on each other and have some sense of familiarity when they get there so that they don't feel alone and so uneasy.
Finally, practice with school supplies. Baumstein says if your child isn't sure how to use or open something, it can create a layer of anxiety that can be avoided.
It might seem silly and unnecessary, but for kids, it's helpful to know that they're capable and that they can do it without you. And so the more opportunity you can give them a chance to try it in the safety of your home while you're right there if they need help, the more likely they're going to be able to have the confidence to do it on their own.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
After the break, we speak with the new Athens police chief about his plans for the department live in studio. And to stay up to date on the latest from Newswatch, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
what's new this month with Passport.
Will, this changes everything.
That's every blues singer in the country was doing that.
In the 1960s, hip-hop became our voice.
Draw your arrow to the head.
These and all your favorite shows are available with Passport. Support your PBS station and stream more with Passport on the PBS app.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, this is Barbara. This is Barbara's painting by a South African artist.
What really fascinated me about him was his political side.
Oh, really?
He was a very early member of the South African Communist Party.
You're kidding.
What else was surprising about the painting? Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow from Omaha, Nebraska.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
The Amazon. Humans have never set eyes on parts of this jungle until now. A team of naturalists and filmmakers are going to wire this wilderness, top to bottom. Remotely operated cameras will record everything 24/7. It's a wildlife filmmaking first.
That is remarkable.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
It's been 2 weeks since former Athens Chief of Police Tom Pyle hung up his boots after 34 years of service. Joining us in studio now is the newly appointed Athens Chief of Police, Nick Magruder, here to talk about his plan for the department and the city. Welcome, Chief Magruder.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you've been chief for almost 2 weeks now, so how has that transition been?
It's been extremely interesting. It's been eye-opening, going from a road supervisor to taking calls, responding to calls with officers, backing them up, working directly with the community. I kind of moved into an administrative role that is now focusing on budgetary issues, working on the leadership of the department, and also just getting a feel for what's going on throughout the city and getting my feet wet, truly.
Now looking back, how did you become interested in law enforcement?
I would say my sophomore, junior year in high school, I really started getting interested in law enforcement. I found out that Hocking College had a 2-year police program, so I went down there from the Cleveland area, got my associate's degree, then got my police academy done. And at that time, I wanted to further my education, move forward to actually getting my bachelor's degree through Ohio University. I've been down in the Athens area for 18 years, and it really drew me to the police department. I had a great interaction with them, and have been here since.
Now, many communities across Southeast Ohio, including Athens, are struggling with drug abuse. And what are your plans when it comes to tackling that?
There's a lot of aspects we really got to think about with drug abuse, because it's truly an addiction, and it causes a lot of mental health issues on top of that. So we want to focus on making sure that we have to deal with what we deal with, but also making sure we work with our prosecutor's office and our local services to make sure that these people that are having these issues and having these addiction problems, we can benefit them from introducing them into programs and hopefully getting them help rather than just punishing them.
And now looking ahead, what plans do you have to foster trust and cooperation between the police and the greater Athens community?
I think that's one of my biggest initiatives for my tenure as a police chief, is to really get to where our guys are interacting with the community outside of traffic stops, outside of calls for service, and making sure that we're interacting with them in a sense of non-enforcement and making sure they know that they have high quality police officers in this community, and we truly respect them.
And now, what advice would you give to someone who could be considering a career in law enforcement?
I would really recommend continuing education after high school, working on some kind of associate's degree or bachelor's degree. Get involved with your local police department. Find a department that has a ride-along program or someone that has a junior police officer program to really get an idea of what you're getting into, because it's not the easiest job and not a lot of people want to do it, but it's a very rewarding career. It's a very beneficial career for your community. If you really want to serve your community, that's where it's at.
And now, speaking generally, what are you looking forward to as chief?
I really look at being a leader of the department and also being able to steer our team into a greater community aspect and a greater respect for our community and working well with them.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Chief Magruder, and we wish you all the best in your new position.
Thank you.
When we return, who wants to be a billionaire? The Powerball climbs to its third highest drawing. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Did you know that local laws and regulations determine how your estate will be distributed if you don't have a will? Nearly 70% of American adults have incomplete estate plans, and thousands face this problem every day. This season is the perfect time to build out your estate plan and protect the people and programming you care about. Estate planning can seem like a lot to tackle, which is why WOUB Public Media is sharing Free Will, self-help estate planning resources that have empowered more than 350,000 Americans to plan for their futures. An estate plan can help you protect the family, friends, and pets you care most about, plan beneficiaries for your assets, and create a powerful legacy that supports your favorite broadcasting for years to come. To learn more and get started, I invite you to visit freewill.com/WOUB.
The Amazon. Humans have never set eyes on parts of this jungle until now. A team of naturalists and filmmakers are going to wire this wilderness, top to bottom. Remotely operated cameras will record everything 24/7. It's a wildlife filmmaking first.
That is remarkable.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Finally tonight, who wants to be a billionaire? No one matched all the numbers in Monday night's Powerball drawing, so Wednesday's jackpot is estimated to be $1 billion. Or if you'd rather get a lump sum cash payment, it's about $518 million. This is only the 7th time in U.S. history that a lottery jackpot has reached at least $1 billion. Your chance of winning the jackpot is 1 in 292 million, according to the Powerball website. So the odds are not in your favor, but if you can't win, you can't win if you don't play. Now, Emily, what would you do if you won the $1 billion?
Honestly, I don't even know because that is just so much money, but I think first move would be to find a financial advisor to tell me what to do with all my money and then probably take a trip around the world as well. What would you do with all of it?
Oh, really? I don't know. I'd probably blow it all on, oh gosh, I think I'd travel too. That's all right. And so, Emily, with all that money, could we buy perhaps some sunny skies going in?
Unfortunately, not tonight or tomorrow, but this weekend it's looking quite nice. So if we take a look at our final weather, it's going to be about 66 tonight with those partly cloudy skies. It's going to be a pretty muggy night tonight and into tomorrow morning. But tomorrow we're looking at a high of about 86 with another overnight low of 64. But in addition to those hot temperatures, we're looking at an 80% chance of showers. Now we're also looking at a slight risk for severe weather, and that could include strong winds, possible hail damage as well, and even some of these storms could turn into supercells, which could produce tornadoes. So a lot of weather is going to be going on tomorrow, mainly in the afternoon times, going on into the evening, and that's because we have some low pressure that's going to be sitting in over the Great Lakes area with a warm front and cold front attached to it, and that warm air is going to mix with that cold air is going to push right up against that warm air, creating a lot of convection and a lot of strong movement going on tomorrow night, and that might linger a little bit into Friday. But Friday, most of the rest of the day, we'll be looking for mostly cloudy skies and a sunny weekend ahead.
Thanks, Emily. That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Emily Dietz, I'm Connor Woodruff. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can always find the latest news anytime on WOUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.
Support comes from Goldsberry Wealth Strategies in Athens and Parkersburg, focusing on helping people achieve a life well lived with a custom strategy. Information at goldsberrywealth.com. Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA, SIPC. Support comes from BDT Foundation, located in Athens and Columbus, helping fund community-based initiatives dedicated to building better places.